What's going on, fam? It's your girl, Abiola Akanni here, founder of E.N.D, and we are going to be doing a Yin Yoga Chakra series. We're going to be exploring the 7 chakras through this Yin Yoga practice. Now, to give you a little bit of perspective, Yin Yoga is a discipline of yoga that actually originates from China. It's part of the Taoist tradition that focuses on yin and yang, and it's a little bit different from some of the Indian traditions of yoga, rooted in vinyasa or hatha practices. Now, this practice is different and that is very, very slow. Now, this first practice we're going to be doing is going to be focused on the root chakra, Muladhara, and that focuses on sense of security, safety, and stability. And it's located right around your groin region, but more specifically, in your sphincter or your anal muscles right at the base of your tailbone. In terms of props, you want to grab 2 yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can substitute those out with these thick-ass books. These work just fine. Or you could also grab something similar to this that you roll out on. You can put your weight on it and it brings the earth to you, which really helps stabilize the body. If you have sensitive knees, I would advise you get a blanket to pad the knees, and let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start in a tabletop position and just sink the hips back to the heels as we come into a child's pose. Now remember, yin yoga postures are held for about 3 to 5 minutes, so long passive holds that tap into the connective tissue. If anything ever feels unsafe, you can always move out of it. You don't need to wait for my approval to get out. Just move out of it and then come back in when you're ready. So we're going to open the knees wide, draw the belly and the chest towards the earth here, hips to the heels. If you'd like, you can extend the arms long and drop the chin or the third eye to the earth, or you can draw the forearms here and keep the head lifted, which is what I'm going to do here, just to settle for a few rounds of breath. I'm a little stuffed up today, y'all, so just bear with me. I sound a little nasally, but we all good. The practice is still going to go on. So we're just going to settle here for a few rounds of breaths and really become aware of the texture, the pace, and the consistency of our own breathing to cultivate a sense of security guided by the breath in our own bodies. So take a few moments to hear, just to notice how you're arriving in your body through your breath. If you can, draw your awareness towards your tailbone, right at the base of your tailbone where your root chakra is located, Muladhara, which is also represented by the color red. So a lot of fire, a lot of heat, a lot of passion here. And I want you to draw a deep inhale in through the nostrils. Exhale out of the nose. Moving into Ujjayi pranayama, translated as the victorious breath. And as you inhale, notice the muscles growing buoyant. You're actually breathing space into the muscle fibers and tissues themselves. And then as you exhale, push the breath down towards your low belly, towards your womb, and towards your groin. And feel yourself gird yourself up from your groin, from your root center. And feel stabilized here, knowing that you are holding your body here. On the inhale, we're just going to ripple it up, tabletop. Hands and knees, walk the knees in. If you'd like, this is where you can pad the knees, and we're going to tuck the toes underneath the feet here and press the hips back and walk the hands in to come into a hero's pose. So coming to our sense of security and stabilizing on the earth. So we're going to stretch the pads of our feet here for a few rounds of breath, and you're just going to hold. And like I said, yin yoga has long passive holds, so you're going to start to feel some sensation. I'm not going to give the sensation a name here. I'll let you do that, but you're going to start to feel some sensation here in the pads of the feet. And if it feels unsafe, you can move out of it, or else try to stabilize and ground here and hold your body in this pose for a few more rounds of breath. Holding and stabilizing for a few more rounds, y'all. Feel that heat kind of building in the pads of the feet. This is our way that we connect to the earth. So we want as much space on the ground as well. So when we walk, we're embodying, taking up space. On the next inhale, just shift your weight forward. And you can stomp out the feet here. And you're going to come to sit back in hero's pose, also Virasana. But this time your toes are going to be untucked. You're going to walk your hands back here. And for some of us, we're already feeling sensation right here. If you'd like, you have the option to lift one knee and maybe begin to pedal it out, lift the other. Or maybe lift both knees. We're going to hold here for a few rounds of breath. So once again, we're really focusing on creating more space in the feet, what stabilizes us to the earth. And ankle mobility is one of the ways we can do that. So really getting the ankles, mobilizing the ankles here and the calves. We're going to hold for a few rounds of breath. Holding here a little bit more longer. Exhale, lower the knees. Walk the hands in and come back to tabletop and just stomp out the feet again. On the inhale, go ahead and extend your left leg back. Draw the toes down and root the 5 fingers into the earth. Feel yourself push and ground into the earth and expand the space in between the shoulder blades. Pull the belly button up and in. On the exhale, you're just going to extend that left knee out and gently step your left leg forward. Now, for some of us, we don't have the hip mobility, so our foot might stop here, and that's okay. Just grace your body. Grab a hold of the back of your heel, step it forward, and draw your hands on the inside of your left shin. Here, if this bothers your knee, go ahead and pad your knee here. 5 fingers are rooted and grounded. And on the inhale, you can backpack one hand onto the left knee, right hand comes up, and then we're going to inhale, hands come high, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Draw your right hand towards your womb, your left hand to your tailbone, pull your tailbone down, and feel your womb draw forward so you can lengthen out the front of your thigh, which is where your psoas muscle is located. Pull that psoas muscle down, feel your groin draw up and in towards your belly, and notice your center of gravity in your root chakra. Continue to hold here. Hands come high. Exhale, let's lower the hands back towards the earth on the inside of the left shin. This time, you're going to actually kind of scooch your left toes forward and shift forward. So we're going to hold here in lizard lunge for a while, y'all. And this is it's going to feel like a lot of sensation. Once again, I'm not going to give it a name, but we want to ground in our bodies. And the best way to ground is to have more space to do so. So what we're doing with these yoga postures is we're making more room in the body for fluid movement, optimal movement, so that we can express more, embody more, but also for more emotional movement, right? So the energy that's moving through the chakras, we want those nadis, those lines of energy to be open. So all of this is creating space in the emotional and the physical body for more movement so we can be more embodied, so we can really have a sense of security because we can take up as much space as possible in our vessel. So you're going to hold here for about 2 more minutes. And like I said, if it starts to feel painful, I'm going to advise you to move out. We want to move away from pushing beyond our own boundaries and really stay in our growth zone. This is non-performative yoga, meaning you don't got to perform for nobody, not even me, not even yourself on the mat. Just let the practice hold you here as you hold yourself as well. Now, what I do want you to notice is when we're holding these poses, we can have the tendency to want to bite down on the jaw or create tension somewhere because it's a lot of sensation. Now, instead, I want you to relax the mouth, soften the jaw here, feel yourself kind of float into sensation. And you'll notice that there's a salivation that starts to happen. The mouth actually starts to salivate, which is a pleasure response. Even now, my mouth is pretty salivating right now. I don't know if that's a phrase, but my mouth is definitely salivating. So you'll notice that and kind of lean into that. Let's hold one more minute here, y'all. If you feel yourself trying to run out of the pose, just come out of it for a moment and come back in. On the exhale, slowly walk the hands back and drag your hips back slowly. And we're going to come into half Hanumanasana or half split. Now, this is a great opportunity for you to bring your makeshift blocks, your books to you. So half Hanumanasana is lengthening out the left knee. We're going to take a half split on this left leg. Now, the lower to the earth your hands are, the more of a stretch you're asking of your hamstrings. If your hamstrings start to shake like so, give your body some grace. Create some slack by taking a micro bend in the knee here. You don't need to push. And you can also bring your makeshift blocks, your books up higher so that you're bringing the earth to you instead of having to ask your body to do more by dropping your hands lower. So you can start with your hands higher on your books here. And we're going to hold here for about 2 minutes. So you want your hands to be at a comfortable height on your books. Now, as we're holding the pose a little bit longer, you might drop your books down to the second height or your blocks, or you might eliminate them completely. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and move my blocks to the side here and soften into the pose. Now, on the inhale, find a halfway lift. So that means just a long spine. So we're inhaling, lengthening the spine long as if you're creating space through the vertebra. And then on the exhale, you're going to forward fold. And you're going to fold forward from your low belly, not your head. So I want you to drop down from your low belly, and you'll find that you start to actually ask a little bit more of this hamstring by doing so. Keep the heart lifted here. Drop the low belly and imagine you're extending your left tailbone back. If you'd like, you can extend the toes forward. The front of the feet rarely ever get stretched this way, so they do appreciate it. So you can find this and then extend the toes up and just kind of find a jostling sensation here through the feet. We're holding here for maybe 1 more minute. And softening into the body. Final thing is we want to make sure that the right hip is stacked right over the right knee. So you want to avoid sinking into the hips like so, like this, because we're not really activating getting into the hamstrings. Make sure that right hip is right over the right knee and that left leg is extended. Now go ahead and inhale, bend your left knee. Hands are going to sweep up. Exhale, lower the hands on the inside of your left leg. Heel toe that left foot out and step it back. We're back in tabletop where we started. We're going to move to the opposite side. Let's extend the right leg straight back. Toes drawn down. Push the 5 fingers into the earth. Expand the space in between the shoulder blades. And then take your time stepping that right leg on the outside of the right hand. Now remember, if you need to, you can guide your heel forward. When you feel stabilized here, and if you need to pad that knee, you can do so. Go ahead and float the hands up high, Anjaneyasana on the inhale. Exhale, left hand comes to the womb, right hand's going to come to the sacrum, and you're going to pull your tailbone down. Now, why do we do this? Some of us have a tendency to hyperextend the tailbone, which shortens the front of the hips. So if we want to ground more, we want to start with how we're standing, how we're holding our hips in our body. Pull the tailbone down, y'all. Draw the groin forward and feel the stretch on the front of your left hip. Hands are going to come high. And then exhale, float the hands down to frame your right foot. Go ahead and inch your right toe forward to make sure your knee is tracking over your ankle. And then shift the hips forward. Lift up tall out of the heart. Remember, if you'd like, you can bring your blocks here to bring the earth higher. If you're feeling really tight in the hips, rarely is the body perfectly asymmetrical. So we might be feeling something on the left side. On the right side, it feels real different. If that's you, then just slowly bring the earth to you with your props. Now we're going to hold here for 2 rounds of breath, y'all. Settling in here. I know for me, interesting enough, I feel this more on the right side, which is usually, it's kind of the opposite for right now, for today. The right side is feeling real sticky. Now remember, try not to bite down on the jaw. Relax the mouth and settle here. Settling here. Let's hold here for 1 more minute, y'all. Take a fluid inhale right here. Fluid exhale. On the next inhale, peel those hips back. Exhale, half Hanumanasana, half split. Lengthen out your right knee and draw your right hand on the outside of your right leg. Option to bring your books on either side to bring the earth to you. Inhale, let's find that halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, forward fold from the low belly, holding here. Few rounds of breath here. We're going to hold for about 2 minutes on this side, y'all. Continuing to settle. Notice what comes up. Exploring how do you feel secure in your body. When it comes to your emotional or invisible body, do you feel safe and secure there without external attachments? And what do you need to feel that safety and security in your invisible body if you don't feel that way right now? On the inhale, go ahead and bend your right knee. Draw your right hand on the inside of your right shin. Heel toe the right foot out, and then when you're ready, step it back. Tabletop, exhale. Child's pose, hips to the heels. Open those knees wide, right where we started. Arms extend long. Ground and settle here. Inviting the third eye to the mat. And continuing to settle. Taking a moment to receive the sense of security that you have in your own body. As a living soul first, having a human experience second. And that will never change. Even if your external surroundings do. That is where your security is and will always lie. And the divinity you have as a living soul. A few more rounds of breath here, y'all. On the next inhalation, I invite you to stay here a little longer if you'd like, or you can refill it up and come into any version of a seated position that you like. That could be Sukhasana, or it could be Virasana. I naturally always come to Virasana. Thunderbolt pose, this feels really natural to me. If it doesn't feel safe for you, I advise you to come out of it. I invite you to close your practice with whatever hand mudra feels intuitive to you and showcases gratitude for our practice today. Traditionally, palms are drawn together at heart center, a little space in between the palms, thumbs pressing to heart center. Let's take a deep inhale in through the nostrils here, fam. Exhale out of the mouth, HJ. We'll each repeat one time. I've done my best. I leave the rest. Namaste, fam.